been together before. I got so much of my friends out there. I want to, let's just lay out something here. And those of you who have pencil and paper, I will not say anything near that profound. So I'll assure you that you can put those down in color, whatever you want to do. This, I want to just get this cleared out, start out. Music for the sake of music. That's why we teach. And everybody goes, oh, we're a teacher for this. Well, we get a tremendous amount of spin-off benefits. But the people walk out and go, well, you didn't say a lot about music. The assumption is that we all know that the reason we're doing this is so we can connect young people to the art of music, and they can express themselves that way. And the reason we practice scales and everything is so that they create a language and a toolbox that allows them to get to, okay, that's it. Now, that being said, we can't teach them music unless they're butts in the seat, right? And I'm a band director. I spent the majority of my discipline career being a band director. And I always knew that band directors were more influential than other teachers. Even coaches, right? Now, coaches are in close, but coaches are in close with the people that are the varsity players. See, they have a bench. Do you have a bench? Wouldn't you love to have a bench? No, I'm serious. During a concert, wouldn't you love to go, Stuart, out, Jonathan in for Stuart. You know, Stuart, letter G, you're fresh, go back in, there you go. We don't have a, so we tend to get, we'll take anybody, won't we? Is that the truth? If you can create smoke on a mirror under your nose, we got a place for you in the band, right? Percussion, take him. He can't read. All right, there you go. Be careful, percussion. But I didn't know how influential you were until Mallory came along. How many of you are parents? You have children? Yeah, Andrew and I don't have any children, but we have grandnieces and nephews. Now, please understand, the story is so you can understand it. It's the cheese around the pill, if you will. And somebody said the other day, oh, all I did was tell stories. That's true. That's all I do is tell stories. I'm a storyteller. But in those stories, there's something in there. Mallory, our little grandniece, who basically lived with us, came home in the 6th grade and said, we're sitting at the Indiana, Suffolk, Indiana, Suffolk. We're sitting at the supper table, and Mallory says, now she's in the 6th grade, she goes, Aunt Andy, she said they're going to have band at our school. Should I join the band? Man, I come right up over the end of that table, and Andy's going, no, 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 no. And she goes, well, sweetheart, that's up to you. No, it's not up to you. Listen, she's 12 years old, she can't find her socks. It's not up to her. Don't do it. So the next day she comes back, and they'd had band petting zoo, or whatever you call it. Touch the instruments. She goes, I'm going to be in band. Oh. And I said, now, what did you decide to play, sweetheart? She said, flute. Oh, God, no. Oh. Henry goes, what makes the difference? I said, she'll end up being a flag in the marching band. That's where they get the flags, it's out the flute section. I said, sweetheart, did you try the oboe? Did you try the bassoon? Did you try the French horns? Because I tried them all. I don't like those instruments. I said, the people that play them professionally don't like it. But that's... I mean, you're all laughing, but it's true, right? So, by golly, Andrea, this is pillow talk. If she's going to play the flute, she's going to get serious about the flute. She's not just going to toot in the background. Right? So we get her a flute teacher. Buy her a nice flute. Like that would really make a difference, right? So she comes home after her first flute lesson with her essential elements book. She goes, Andy, you're not going to believe this. One of the guys who wrote this book has the same name Uncle Tim has. This is my moment in the sun, honey. Andrea said, sweetheart, that is your Uncle Tim. She goes, no, I asked my flute teacher, and he said that guy's dead. So now we're playing the flute. We're taking flute lessons, and we're practicing flute, and having a great time. Now she goes into high school, freshman, first chair flute. Yes, that's my girl. Right? So I come home from one of my trips, and I walk in the house, and there's a flag leaning up against the wall. Mallory, what is that? She goes, it's called a flag. I know what it's called. Why is it in our house? Now, here you go. Mr. Hassell, and you're all Mr. Hassell. Mr. Hassell said, We need some more flags for marching band, and during marching band I can contribute more by being a flag and play my flute because we've got so many flutes. Well, Mr. Hassell didn't buy you a $3,000 pipe to blow up. So now she's a flag. And you're still going to practice your flute, though, of course, right? Well, you know where that goes. Okay, so now we're back playing the flute again. I go on a trip. Now we're in the sophomore year. I come home. There's a clarinet laying on the shelf. I walk in. Mallory! Before I ask you, I know what this is. Why is it in our home? Mr. Hassell said we need more clarinets. We have too many flutes. Who would be willing to? Sweetheart, we've invested so much. And you're a great little flute player. And your first chair. Well, Mr. Hassell. Mr. Hassell. Okay. So I hear squeaking and squawking in the room. And I go in. There's tears and there's expletives gone. And what's wrong? I said, give me that thing. Right? Oh, it's a piece of junk. You're serious about this? Well, what is she going to say? Yeah. Ah, you go ask Mr. Hassell what kind of clarinet you should have. So she comes back the next day with a piece of paper and she goes, Buffett. It's not Buffett, it's buffet. And you're not getting a buffet clarinet. Whoa! Well, first of all, they're incredibly expensive. Second of all, Uncle Tim works for Con Selmer. And it would be blasphemous for us to have a buffet clarinet in our home. But Mr. Hassell said, so I bought her a buffet clarinet. I mean, you override everything. I mean, I knew we were influential. I had no idea how much, though. So now she's getting ready to go to college, and she wants to be a teacher. And Ball State's just, 45 miles down the road. I'm going, it's the 4th best music or teacher education school in the world. Sweetheart, look at that. Ball State, in-state tuition. Uncle Tim, we can drive you back and forth. Come on. No. University of Guam, all these obscure schools. So last year I came home in the spring. I walked in, she had a Ball State sweatshirt on. So what's that about? She goes, I've decided to go to Ball State. Wow. Mr. Hassell said, finally! How many of you do marching band? Well, first of all, why? Secondly, how much louder can a kid yell, I love you? The smartest kids in the school standing on a parking lot in August when their friends are swimming and making out, and they come and hang out with you. My God. And then you put them in an ugly uniform, stick a feather inside their head, and see if they can march 6 miles without throwing up. And they do it. How much, do you understand? And please get it. Cognitive information I love. But if you give me enough time, I can teach any kid to do this. Because those are skills. But you know what I can't teach you to do? This. And that's what you do. And you do it better than anybody else. How many of you have kids just hang around your band? Do they hang around the chemistry lab? No. How many have kids you go in the morning and there they are, hanging outside the band room, right? And get passes to get out of class to go down to the band room. Saying they're going to practice, but they don't. Right? And after school, they meet in the band room. Didn't you? Weren't you a band geek? And weren't your social friends band people? Right? And then they date each other, which you love. Because you know they'll get married and make more band people.